Collected here are the nonfiction works of L. Ron Hubbard, the Hubbard biography, backup materials from birth through death, and only one item that I'm aware of is not located here. It's missing, and it's missing from every Hubbard collector's shelves in every library in the world, and it's called Excalibur, the Dark Sword, his famous 1938 manuscript. This is what Marsh Library has on Excalibur. It's a collection about Excalibur. Outside of that, it's here. I think you'll enjoy perusing the materials with me. Welcome to Ron's Room. I believe the message of L. Ron Hubbard to mankind is you can be free. You do not have to continue being enslaved. Enslaved and tortured, tormented by past experiences, behavior patterns. You can be free of these things. And your abilities are far greater than anyone ever permitted you to believe. He granted so much beingness to others that they actually got therapeutic improvement just by talking to the guy. They felt free. He knew what freedom was. He was achieving it for himself. He wanted to see others achieve it. You know, you should really read his little My Philosophy. There he talks about his childhood touring the Orient and seeing the degradation there, dead bodies in the street, the squalor, and in this great land of wisdom, you know, how could this be? I want my close family members to be free. I want my close friends to make it. I've gotten plenty for myself, so I'd like to see others make it too. I think it's a brilliant transition from writing science fiction. But remember, Hubbard wrote westerns, romances, adventure story. That was his greatest genre, adventure. But sci-fi was the one that caught on. To be able to research humanity and get into a man's mind and find out what the heck is in there, because what's in there is wilder than science fiction. I think it was a great transition, and it made a lot of sense. You know, it opens the mind to the possibilities of what can be, or what is, or what was. These are Hubbard biographical collections, volume by volume, depicting aspects of the man's life, or year by year, his correspondence, or photographs, topic by topic. A number of manuscripts, summaries of his early lectures, and subjects collected on individuals who were intimate with Hubbard, or who had a positive or negative impact on the man. This is something you won't see very often. This is an earlier version in archival form with a specific purpose of preservation of his Dianetics and Scientology books on a limited version as allowed by the copyright owners after he had passed away. Those are the only approved books. Beneath, transcriptions of his research lectures in the late 40s and early 50s, and beneath the organizational policy, and beneath the technology of Dianetics and its therapeutic processing. This is a relatively complete collection of Hubbard electrometers covering the span, the period from the early 1950s below, requiring a very skilled operator, of which there were none, and over the years evolving to the current model used today, what they call the quantum. The early models were actually plugged right into the mains, electric mains. Today it's a 1-volt battery and there's no danger. There are some of particular note. These are called beeper meters or audible e-meters, and they were for the blind to conduct the auditing session. It's a very complete collection. I'm very proud to display 3 electrometers signed by Ron Hubbard, the developer of this technology. There are only 10 of these on the planet. There are 100 of these, and they're numbered, and this happens to be number 1. These are deluxe volumes, making a set, one of only 6 sets ever made, of every book of Dianetics and Scientology, written by Hubbard. This wooden box here are cassette tapes of the most famous Hubbard lecture series he ever did, 1952 and 53, called the Philadelphia Doctorate Course. And it's where he released his findings on upper levels of spirituality attainable. In this display case, we have L. Ron Hubbard's wristwatch. This is the very watch Mr. Hubbard wore from 1949 through 1952, the years of his first Dianetics publications. Other items on display here include a number of his manuscripts, several of which are unpublished, 3 screenplays, and one entitled Civil Defense Manual he wrote as a gift for the U.S. government to give to its citizens. It's about atomic warfare and how to prepare for it and live through it. This book, written by Tom Hagen, entitled Mr. Roberts, was the foundation for an award-winning Broadway play and motion picture starring Henry Fonda. It is rumored, and there is a degree of truth, certainly, that this was a tale based on Hubbard's experiences as an officer in the U.S. Navy during World War II. Only obviously Hubbard lived through it. Mr. Roberts did not. This is a bust of L. Ron Hubbard, created by the organization that he created. Thus it says founder there. They honor him in the organizations of Dianetics. And it was done in 1960 by Kurt Steinberg, a very famous South African sculptor in Johannesburg. The great Ron Hubbard. This is the preservation case, highly customized, housing a rare or precious book. Each one is individually created. Its size, its content, the artistic covers house the rarest of books here at the library. Hubbard was a member of the Explorers Club since 1940 till his death in '86. And he wrote a story, a true story, called It Bears Telling, and it was published in this book through Hell and High Water by members of the Explorers Club. And the story, while true, is absolutely hilarious. It's about a bear boarding his little 39-foot boat. This is one of the crown jewels of Marsh Library. The case alone is a work of art depicting the story inside. This book is very special. Millions of copies of this book were sold. This one, however, has a wonderful inscription. To Bob Heinlein, in affectionate memory of the good old days, your sea dog pal, L. Ron Hubbard. And by the grace of God or good fortune, Mr. Heinlein himself also inscribed the book. Battlefield Earth by L. Ron Hubbard, 1980. This marks the return of Hubbard to fiction after a 30-year hiatus to do his research and founding of Dianetics and Scientology. Was Hubbard the man? Was the golden age of philosophy worth it? Does it work, the techniques discovered? That's something, you don't want to hear about it. You have to find out for yourself. So it's kind of a silly question, is it real? You're going to get 1,000 different responses. I'm happy to give you mine. To me, it's worth it, and it's worth preserving. So that means, yes, it's real. And mankind must have this stuff, at least available to those who are searching. I have about 200 research projects and compilations that need to be finished and digitized and distributed to all who want them before I'm done with this.